5 now. So the timing of their careers kind of worked out. And with oil, it's going to go one, boom or bust. But they lucked into a real boom on that.
Hey, those guys deserve the same perks that like the Amazon and Google and Apple employees get,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or
for sure.
Tesla or whatever, right? Like you luck into
Yeah,
some good stuff. All right, well,
yeah.
I just started the recording. We got pops in the
Okay.
room, our good old faithful pops. Um, so yeah, let's get the show on the road. I know you're traveling, so
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I've got some things and um, some notes prepared and all that, and you can pretty much do the normal deal here.
yep, yep.
So, um, what um, what I got first is FSR,
Oh, okay. Yeah, enough said.
and I know this is one that you do bring up to me quite a bit, and I really like the spot here in the flow. So what I've got on it is a pretty big push up to 12 in July is kind of what caught my attention. And definitely for the weeklies, 10.5 are pretty popular. So I kind of see those as a possibility. If you wanted to play this in the money, it's about $50 for weeklies, and I think you could probably do that early in the week. Definitely could see more of a pullback, but I think Tesla really oversold hard on Friday, and I don't really see that. While I think there's a Tesla downtrend, I think it's gonna bounce a bit early in the week. So I think the EVs for that reason could do pretty well, and FSR is one I definitely like.
So the bottom's really like 850, maybe nine. Um, but 14 on all time frames is what I have. 12 was your last high. So you know me, this thing has range, especially when it gets in the teens. Like the 20 psych usually comes into play, if you look at it historically. But I think 14, 15 would be what I would look for, um, after you kind of get the move through 10. If not,
Yeah, yeah, we're
the reason I say that, if not, it's going to fizzle out at 11.5, right? Something like
right,
that,
right.
and that's when you need to manage your position a little bit, which it's kind of done over the last month and a half. You get this pullback right about 10, and it goes up to 11. But for continuation, I would look for that 14 number for sure. Um, I was on
Yeah,
this like a week ago, P.
uh, I love it under 10. I do, and I think those levels you mentioned. There's sold puts at 9. There isn't much activity on the put side under 9, like on the ask side. So I think we are definitely closer to the bottom than we are to that top end of that range. Um, so great spot, I think.
Yeah,
All right,
20,
what I got
21.
next is
So,
Rent-A-Center RCII. Now I've had my eye on this one for a while. Ever since it just got crushed on earnings a while back, and essentially what I'm seeing here is that 25 looks pretty
mm-hmm.
strong, and there's flow to 30 on it. So I think could definitely maybe fall to like 23, 24, but I kind of like the upside to 30, and it's one of those with monthly options. So it's that 30C for July is the one that stands out.
Yeah, your 25 is pretty much volume profile, and we've been rotating around that from like 22.5 to 27.5. Just a nice channel around 25 for what, 3 months,
Yeah.
since that ER drop. On the shorter time frame, you have a gap from like 30 to 35, because of that drop. But long term, it's kind of like a confirmed 30 is what I would look for. Um, but yeah, I like it. Definitely the bottom here, though, P. Like, it's one of those ones where we talk ri- risk reward ratio.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this thing ain't gonna run to 50 and double for you, but you're gonna be able to pull, you know, a 250 or a $5 move out of it, maybe a $4 move, not a $5 move, and that's still, you know, 10 to 20%. Um,
yeah. And sector wise, it's not like a sector I know well, but I'm just sort of curious that the kind of bad credit financing type people, like in this environment, are people maybe going to rent furniture instead of buying it, or so I kind of don't. I'm curious about their whole outlook. And I might just kind of look into the DD side of it a bit, but yeah, but in terms of flow and chart, definitely like it. Reminds me a little bit of Chegg when Chegg had that big drop. Just sort of whales working its way up in these $5 increments, just based on the option strikes. So yeah, so I like it for that reason.
when I was younger, you know, I definitely wasn't the richest man, but I had a lot of friends that used Rent-A-Center, and I know they sell products. Like you can just flat out buy them. You don't have to just rent them. And
Yeah,
I know people also do like event rentals, whether it's staging a house or renting a TV for a Super Bowl. That's kind of one of the things they do, and then when they make enough money off the product, they'll sell it. What I would be more interested in is the supply chain side of it. Like, are they getting stuff from
right.
discount stores, or do they have contracts with people? Because that's what Walmart got hit on. Not that they're in the same realm as them, but they do sell
Yeah,
consumers
and they're
goods.
well, and they could be a little lower on the food chain too, in terms of
But that
like
inventory,
prioritizing the supply chain.
yeah, and the inventory is the number that matters, right? That's it. Like how much
Right.
shit do you have in inventory right now? So I'll definitely look into that one too because this chart overall is like pretty bottomed out. P. Um,
Yeah, yeah, it's one of the types of charts I'm looking at in this environment for sure.
I mean, you had
Um,
15 at COVID, but I mean, I don't think you get COVID lows on everything again.
yeah, and one thing I look for too, like when the market gets these big sell-off days, is I look to see with names like this, are they trying to beat it down further? And I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing them try to shoot for 20 or anything like that. So,
Yeah, you're four
uh,
months here,
like,
right? And you're four
yeah,
months here, so yeah, good find.
yeah, and the market's had a lot of volatility, and so for it to have some stability is a good sign for what we're looking for. All right, now this one, I I had read that they were going to go public, and then I hadn't really followed them or anything, but this is the first time they've been on my radar. Is BuzzFeed,
Yeah,
BZFD, and I don't know if the socials have ever been on this one or anything, but this is really the first appearance in the flow for me. All right, so what I have on BuzzFeed had a decent little move on Friday of 6%, but that's kind of not really what I'm looking at here. So on July, I got 4C, 5C, and I don't know what catalyst to push it there, but that's what they were buying on Friday, and I've got a floor of 3. So
your volume profile. I mean, it's a short term chart, so we can't put too much into it, but um, right under five, like 470s is your volume profile. If you go real tight, like 420, my last consolidation box and 20-day volume profile is right at 420, and that's kind of looks like where it's headed on a higher low after this last earnings. Um,
yeah, and just
I like it.
it's in that kind of that communication services theme. I like kind of a lot of those. So this is one. It works for shares or options. Options are going to give you those $5 increments, which is kind of tedious. So I actually might go out to September 4C is about $50, and 5C is like 25. So those are kind of the options I like on it, because once this starts to move, those will double up pretty quickly if we get a decent move on it. But sort of like it more for shares
What was
overall.
your? You say that strike one more time? Sorry, the 5
So
July.
I got July, yeah, July 4C, 5C.
Sweet. I'm just gonna add this to my handy dandy watch list. Love it. Bam.
All right. Next up is STEM, STEM.
STEM. Sounds like a bio.
It's a no, it's a they're in technology. Let me see what they do exactly.
Yeah, no, it didn't. Okay. It says inc.com, so it's definitely not a bio.
Hey, right, yeah,
Bottomed out
yeah.
RFP.
So what I've got, what I got on STEM. Lost my page there. Okay, so right now sitting at 881, and I'm seeing a lot of sold puts at 9, and I got calls in mid June, 11C, 12C.
I was writing stuff there. Yeah, you're kind of in that channel. It's trying to find a bottom here. I like 8 for sure. What's this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got 1150, but that's the you're real close.
Yep. Yeah. So that's those are kind of the smaller ones that I've got, and let me see here.
Oh, that's a nice turn here. If this 775 holds, that's going to be real nice. Write that down. 775 because he said 12.
All right, and then I've got one larger cap, and that's Airbnb. So A, B, and B. And I kind of see this one as getting to 130 pretty soon. And again, I don't know what would push it to that, but I think just with general market conditions, this definitely has some room to get up there. And those weeklies run about $70, so it's playable as a weekly. You can go 2 weeks out, give yourself a little more time, but yeah, Flow's definitely bullish on Airbnb heading into the week.
There's definitely a little gap right there on the lower time frame from the drop, obviously, and but 150 stands out on all time frames.
Yeah, I could see it getting back to that in July for sure. This this shorter term flows in June.
That would be more the area it's going to trade around by the end of the year. That's how I would say that. Where we at? Yeah, that's
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's where it's going to end
Yeah.
up back to. It might get some good news and go to 170, 165, but the 150 is pretty strong. Again, on all time frames historically, just
Yeah.
it's been. Yeah, no, that ain't it. I think that needs to be said too. Is like there's gonna be overreactions both ways, but you kind of got to know the pivot point, for lack of a better term, what it's doing. This is a great
absolutely,
example.
and I think it's just part of understanding the market we're in, that there isn't, to me, just like one bottom. I mean, it's just gonna,
Yeah.
we're gonna get some relief, and then it'll pull back again. But we're starting to get to a point in the option flow where you can see the aftermath of this, where a lot of these stocks work themselves back up that 15 to 35, 40%, just from where they are now. And, whales are starting to kind of prep for that and build some positions, and they'll scale in and out. Not really a guarantee or anything, but there's more room up than down on a lot of these, and this would be one of them.
Yeah. No, my general overall is like whether it's up or down, they don't like nail it, right? Oh, this
Yeah,
needs to be devalued. They usually overreact to the way they're going, and playing that back is one of an edge that any beginner trader can have.
yeah, exactly. Yep.
Calls or puts. Sorry. Oh, is that it? Is that it for new? You need to go hot list now,
Well,
or
I do have I have one more I want you to
yeah, let's do it.
call up and look at is a shop. I'm interested in shop
Yeah,
again.
me too. Just because I want to play it after the split, though. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
I think it will go. I think they're going to go. They're usually going to react again. We're just talking about that post split, whether it's to the north or south, and I think this one's going to dip a little bit.
yeah. No, I could definitely see that.
It's how many is it again? It's going to $30. I thought $35. So it's a 10 to 1. Yeah, 10 to 1. There it is on the chart.
Yeah,
That's 628. I mean, we still have a few weeks, so yeah, let's talk shop. Um,
yeah. So basically, the deal on shop, and I actually posted this on Thursday night that I thought shop was going to move pretty large, and it just dropped like 11% after having a couple of good days, and that's really what you're going to get with this, which makes it really nice for playing options, as long as you kind of don't marry one side on it. It's gonna really exceed whatever the market is doing, and the 6-7% moves are going to be kind of the norm. Once or twice a week, you might get these big 10-11% moves on it. So so for that reason, I don't have a thesis up or down on it. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of volatility there, and if it has a couple of good days in a row, you see the whales piling into puts, or vice versa. So it actually, looks pretty good to start this week. So I'm going to have some triggers on it. I'm looking for some upside. And with this one, when you get a big pre-market move, just wait for it because it's going to come back and it's going to retest. So you just want to have some patience. You can go pretty small and do really well on shop. So one to watch for sure.
you want it on the hot list?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
The only thing I'll add is short and sweet here. It's from the share side. So I think I have a better opportunity getting these sub 30 after the split than I do sub 300. And
yeah,
that to me is simple math. So I'm not I don't have to trade shop 6:30 at the open tomorrow or the next 3 days. I'm just going to write that down, and if that opportunity comes to me, I will trade the stock, and if not, I'll leave it alone. And that's kind of how I play Tesla. Apple used to be that way, but that shit don't move no more. Square's that way, but that's how I play the bigger names. Is like you just kind of pick a spot and know the situation, and if it comes to you, take advantage of it, and if not, just leave it alone. But again, that's share side. The
yeah,
moves
yeah.
you can play the $50 move down that before it even gets to my opportunity on the option side. So
Yeah, and it's at these prices. I mean, the options are a lot cheaper on it, obviously, than when it was trading over 1,000. So there, yeah, there's day trade opportunities on this one for sure, and kind of the poor man's Amazon. And by the way, it is it's going to tend to follow Amazon a bit, but have a slightly bigger percentage on it. So just sort of look out for that.
If I do get some post split, buy my calls, please.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the strike price and everything.
Yeah.
Just buy them up.
Yeah.
All right. You good? Good, or back to the old one, or you got another one?
Yeah, there is one I want to talk about,
Yeah,
and it is
let's go.
a bio, and I don't necessarily want to hot list it, but I just want to
Yeah, yeah.
get your take on it because a lot of times these bios I see them they'll make like two big spikes, and it looks like we might actually be on a third one with this one, which is a Veru, Veru, and
Low float.
it's all over the flow, and I don't know if anyone like Pell or anybody's been trading it, but it's kind of looks like it's gearing up for a third move to test those recent highs. And I just think it's kind of a quick scalp opportunity, if anything.
Sure, sure. So I have and I guess I've never really mentioned it to you, like hard, like out loud, but I have like a rule, certain parameters on stocks that I won't mention in the group, and the share size usually is one of them. There's some exceptions. Um, Shout out to Black Box Stocks. But
Yeah,
this because it's a bio and it's a low float. I just don't really want to push it, but the play's there. It's totally there. Um, Cryption, I think, shout out to Cryption, messaged me about it. Um, Out of ER, he was down here like, hey, this thing's got range, and we kind of had to talk about. You just want to scalp it. You don't really want to. You kind of play the daily, and I would think the option side would probably be better than the share side. To be honest with you, it's less risk, right? That's the
yeah, yeah. And you just would never ever want to hold options overnight on it
no the
because
scalps.
it because it can just drop 20% after hours. Like that's just that kind of stock.
Are
Um,
they
but
cheap?
yeah, yeah. So just give you some idea here, and I would play it probably
Oh
close
Jesus.
to
Okay.
in the money. Um, but like, yeah, like the 15.5 for like $57 would probably be the one I would go after, or the 15 for about
Yeah.
70 bucks. You could play the higher ones, like if you just don't want to put that much out there and play like the 16.5. They will move. The implied volatility is just insane on these, so they can move pretty large. So if that's your style to scalp something, this would be one I think that is going to do something. I'm not going to hot list it just because of I don't want someone to see it on the hot list without the context of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But definitely, it kind of just has that same look that it had these past couple times. Where I think it's gonna run again.
Yeah, no, I think the play's there. It's just it doesn't meet so many of that don't send it to people that don't have the best management skills. I don't know how
Yeah,
else to
yeah,
say
for
that.
sure.
It just has that feel to it to me. I wish we would have
And
caught it at 8.
I don't play a lot of bios, and I mean, and I trade almost anything.
Yeah.
But that's just one type of stock that is really tough. I think you got to be really locked in. And if you want to play them like consistently, I think that it's a lot of DD involved, just in terms of dates and approvals and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's kind of its own animal.
So 1276 right now. P. It's kind of
Yeah,
that's what's turning on that. That's such a big range though. Oh my God.
right, right.
Um, yeah, well, and if you're here, you're listening, you're watching. It's a good stock like midday just to watch in general. Watch some level 2 on this thing. Watch the option. Pull up an option chart on this thing midday because its moves are so dramatic.
Yeah, it definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you though. No hot list. Can't do it.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for my new stuff.
Okay.
A lot I want to keep, uh, but we could go through those.
I'm pulling up. Let me get the situation pulled here. Pull. Bam. All right. I'm gonna go flex for most of these, just so I can brag about the weekly. um, AA.
Yes, yeah. Aluminum, still just gonna give you some nice moves. Much bigger reversal ahead, I think.
Yeah, and then for share side, if you can get it in the 50s, play it back to the 60s. It's pretty much where we're at right now. Market conditions kind of dictate that, but if you look at the days, we're getting higher lows pretty much every day, so it's good stuff. AFRM.
Yeah. So I one of the things I posted midweek was that it's really advantageous to have a fintech that you kind of specialize in because um, these, when the market is favorable, really just fly, and this is one of them. So definitely want to keep this on your radar. Understand it's going to keep pulling back on you, so it's not a time to build some big share position, in my opinion. But you can day trade this almost every day. Anything that gives you consistently over 4% upside or downside is good for options. So yeah, keep a firm.
Yeah, 20 looks like it's holding on most time frames. I mean, like worst case, if you do get a pullback, that's where the opportunity's at. 20, 21 ish.
Yeah,
Um, AI.
could easily work up to 30 within a couple. Like if it has a couple good days in a row, you'll see it at $30.
Yes. Concur there. AI.
All right. Did you trade this week?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me? Was that a joke? That was a joke, right?
yeah, it was.
Well, hey,
Yeah. So,
we said it. We said it 2 weeks ago, three weeks ago even. Play the flushes after ER, especially on stuff that you know and it has decent report. And these guys didn't have bad report; they just had shitty guidance. Um, but $14 was absurd. It's absurd. No, so if you know the stuff, you kind of know the levels, and you can make
get on
faster.
there. I mean, we got the and I got the move. But I
Yeah.
mean, it does definitely. There's some potential to 25 here, but I think it's probably going to take a breather. So
Yeah,
um,
I'm done with it if you don't have
yeah,
something
yeah.
substantial.
I'm done. I'm done for now. We'll revisit it
If you
if
want
it.
to if you've played it already, you know that if it gets down there 16, you buy it and play it back to 19 or 20. It's pretty
Yeah,
easy. It's pretty
exactly.
easy trade.
Yep.
Um, let me type the next one in because it's AMRS definitely.
Yeah.
What do you still got the 3 on this? It's not really.
Yeah, I do. So and if it's a kind of that time, if you wanted to think about actually buying that, the 3 call for January of next year is what I would probably play on the option side. But this is good on the share side. Going to work its way up back over 250 to get in that 260, 270 range. Is kind of where I see it going. The 2.5C all summer is pretty active.
Yeah, I like it. It does range, especially when you get down to that. I think your level's the same too. That 220, 225.
Yeah.
When you can get it
Yep.
there, it's pretty much what are you doing? And we're consolidating at the 30s right now. So even if you can get it at, like you guys that are day traders, you get this in the 220s. Just take what it gives you. You get it at 227 and you get 235 out of it. Take it. Just take it. Play with a little size. Play with 500. 750, 1,000 shares. It's just really low risk. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. And on those leaps, I mean, you just buy one, buy three, and check on it in 6 months, and you'll see it'll probably be double or triple by then.
pull this up real quick. I want to pull a day chart. Yeah, look, play it off the bottom. I like this. Annie.
So this kind of did what a little bit of what I was looking for. It's still kind of just gets close to one, and try to see if you can test 110 or so. That's kind of what I was doing on it, playing it small. Probably going to go ahead and take it off though. I'm not seeing anything in the flow that is outstanding.
I want
But
to
definitely
I want
one
to
you can
kind of
trade.
I want to call these something because we got another one coming up, but they're basically like minimal percenters. Like you're gonna take 5 or 10 cents out of this, but it shouldn't be clogging up the hot list because the hot list we want to highlight. But we put them on there so
Yeah, yeah.
people can get familiar with stuff that's low risk that they can trade regularly when they need something to trade.
I mean, if I buy any at 102, I say to myself like, okay, what's the worst that could happen here? Is it going to fall like 90 cents? I mean, it might, but it's more likely that the dollar is going to hold and it's going to go up to 108 or 109, and then I can get a decent trade out of it. Not exactly high conviction. I go kind of small, but as long as that dollar psych is holds, then I'm good on it. So
Definitely.
yeah,
I'm interested in your side on this next one, bros.
yeah. Okay, so
Did not trade.
this was like the ultimate flush opportunity.
I traded it.
And
I traded
just
that, but I did not trade this continuation.
yeah, right. So Bros is one that is kind of looking to me like they're wanting 45 to 48 on it in July. So it's a little overheated for me to buy into it right now, but I do see that as a potential. So
Let me see.
if it dips back under 40, um, like 38 is kind of the level in options that's sort of a floor to me that I'm looking for. But yeah, so 38 to 45 is kind of the trade I'm eyeing on it.
I think if we pull back under, I mean you're close. That's we're gonna argue about a dollar, so never mind. I won't even say it. Yeah, I like that.
So you got 37.
Yeah, because I just think I think the 35 site comes into play, but I don't think you get there. I think it's going to show strength off the 35 site, so you'll get somewhere around there. That's what you're looking for, right? If you do want it to push back through 40, it's not dropping to 33 and then pushing back through 40. I mean
Yeah,
that's
I don't want to trade this from 42 to 45. I want to trade it
yeah.
from 39 to 45 or 38 to 45. So
It
yeah, so
it it
looking for a pullback.
it does have a lot to figure out still though, so I wouldn't be. I guess I'm biased at this point because I didn't see it doing this, so this is my biased ass opinion. But this has to have a couple red days, or I'm just fucking wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the proper way to say it. So
Right, right.
don't listen to me because I was already wrong once. But I'm looking to trade it at like 37, 36.5 in that range. Show strength off the 35 for the move into the 40s. If not, I
Yeah, that
can
sounds good.
if not I can dump at 39 and still it's a good trade. Can
Yeah, so I actually when I get a little time, want to write up something on these Chinese ADRs, and this is quickly emerging as
beautiful.
my favorite. All right, so there's not a lot of great stuff happening for crypto right now, and with Chinese stocks, you always have like the delisting crap or whatever. But nevertheless, there's still a ton of flow on this to 4 and 5 in the fall. So I think Can's going to come out of all this up at those prices. And but in terms of like where I want to buy it, it's sort of kind of in the middle right now of where I'd want to buy it. I want maybe lower, like 320, 330, something like that. But it's one that you can spot the momentum on the Chinese stocks, and then this one's going to give you that 10%, 8-10%, and you can just scalp it, based on that. But longer term, that's kind of what I see on it.
Yeah, so I nailed this a couple times in the last few weeks, but it's kind of turning that what I got 30 or 360. It's turning that into support right now. For me, I need a little bit more confirmation off that level. I don't think we're gonna get back down to them low threes again, though. It doesn't look like it. It really doesn't look like it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's shown some strength in some pretty crappy conditions. So definitely like that.
Yeah. No, this was a gem. This was a nice trade for sure. You want to keep? Let's just keep it then. Yeah, I'm with keeping it.
Yeah, we'll keep it.
All
Yeah.
right, because I'll just write a note on it. CCJ.
Yeah. So uranium, you had that good day Thursday, and then pulled back again. I'm still just looking for that turnaround in uranium futures. So kind of just wait and see on these. I I don't know that we need to hot list it. I think
Okay.
I'll bring it up in notes
Yeah, we
if it
have,
comes.
but yeah, we have 50 right now, so cream of the crop is fine with me. Um,
Yeah,
and that was a good trade last week. Um,
yeah,
it had a couple of very volatile days. CDE, the uptrend continues.
yes. So yeah, I like CE. It's probably my favorite of the miners. You just have in the option side, there's no 4.5C. So basically, I just see it building strength at 4. They dip into the 5s a little bit into the fall. So that's kind of what I see happening. And I think gold in general, gold and miners are kind of gearing up for another move up, just based on market conditions.
This is the one where we agree. We really agree on that 450 level. Like we both have high conviction in 450. Um,
Yeah,
I I like everything about this stock except for it will go with the market. I've
right.
noticed that if the market's not having a good day, this thing it's taking the day off. um,
Yeah, yeah.
so I like this one. I like the other one that's on the list a little better just because of position size, but I think this one's probably safer to be honest. Um, Next is CENN, and this one is the one that I kind of put with any. Did we take any
Oh,
off?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which one did we take off? Whichever one we took
We
off.
we took any off. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the EV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it definitely it's probably going to test 2. It's the options only go to like 2.5 is the lowest one, so it's hard to get a flow read on it.
Yeah, but
But
it fits that one where you kind of like know the levels. You should not have
yeah,
traded. It's not going to do anything flipping spectacular, but it's a good stock for you to have added to your list if it worked for you, if it fits, your psychology and your way you trade. Because this thing
yeah,
can't. We
exactly.
played this off this 160 level, and it was good, but again, you're not going to get more than 10-20 cents out of it, which is still 5-7%. But
Right.
that's just how this thing moves. Um, so yeah, I'm with you on that. This next one is we're waiting and seeing. Everyone's putting the professor's credibility on the line here. Uh, CENX.
Nice. Yeah. So this is
Yeah.
the smaller cap aluminum. Still like it. still see it making that move. So, yeah, Brinky.
I said it's probably going to do this for a couple months, or I wouldn't be shocked if it did it for not couple months, couple weeks. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that it's proven me right in that regard, because it's giving everybody an opportunity to put a little bit into that. Um, yeah, it's kind of tightening up now, P, but just holding the $12 level really well.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just going to be patient with it, and
Yes.
just go with what the whales are doing. So, yeah, I think we'll get that big move. Take a little time.
Your downside is very limited from here. Like, it really is. There's love it. Chegg.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, Chegg. Still just one of the better consumer defensive setups that I'm seeing, and still think we see 25. So
Really? Okay.
we're gonna work our way up.
This is one where the TA's following the flow, because I like what we got already.
Yeah.
Shout out to the ER flushes. I was pretty adamant on playing these. I think these are I still do. We're just running out of big names. But these are still the best setups. Read the report. If they're not bad and they drop flipping 20%, play it back. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. Clove.
Let's see. Yeah, so I like Clove a little. I was hesitant last week to put it on here, but I like it a little better now. And looking for that move to $3 this summer. So I think we get it.
Yeah, we had that drop last week and higher low under that 250. I really like to see 260 at some point this week. That's the note I have. Is if not, it's probably gonna play a little to the downside again.
Yeah,
I think our number's like 220 under that, so it's not. I mean, it's not super far.
Yeah. With Clove, I mean, you just gotta forget the 100% days it had last summer. That's not really what we're looking at anymore. But definitely, there's some good trades here for sure.
Know the levels when the news comes. That's
Yeah.
really what it is.
Yeah.
Crowd.
All right, so I definitely am still very interested in the cybersecurity plays. I don't know that there's a reason to put Crowd on the hot list though. So like they'll show up in my notes. We had the earnings already. There's a lot of potential here back to 200, and we're just gonna kind of look for flow reads, and you'll see it in my notes with DDOG and Net, and definitely a sector I recommend, but Crowd in particular doesn't need to be on the hot list this week.
Yeah, I think I pushed a little bit for the ER play last week, is why it's even here, to be honest. And Datadog's probably the better of the two on all angles right now. There's just more range on that chart. So totally with you. Sinclair won't stop.
Yeah. I'm not taking any oil off. I think that we just have an intact uptrend, and you just buy it when they dip, and they won't dip for very long. So I think you keep going.
Golly, that's such a monster. This is another one that's going to 100% from first mention.
Yeah.
Easy. DraftKings.
Yeah, I am very interested through the summer into the fall on DraftKings, and we've got, we had I must have missed it. Why did it drop 10%? Was there a reason, or just
I didn't see
market thing?
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I mean, I love it that it did that, because I'm just still into these big time. So I think that it's a little less stable than Fubo to me, just in terms of like the ranges. I'm trying to find a range to to play it, but flow wise into the fall, 15, 18, possibly 20. So maybe like, it'll get kind of a push with the NFL starting back up or something. But yeah, DraftKings and Penn, definitely ones to keep an eye on.
I have, I mean, it's kind of shorter term, but the 1380, 14 level is kind of the pivot right now. Definitely a downside here. This is the one, right, where there's a little more risk, but
Yes.
there's a little more reward. This could
Yeah.
double. This could double on some news, easy, especially from here. Um, DNA loyalty, got loyalty.
Yeah, I think we'll keep it.
I think we should keep it.
Yeah, it's
Maybe.
it still hits all my filters at the $4 level. So
Yeah.
Probably July, August before it gets to that, but really like it.
I right now, if you're gonna trade it, try to get 330, sub 350. That's kind of been the low. Perfect entry is $3 or less. You really can't go wrong with that. Um, I screamed it for a long time, but
Yeah, Kathy got one right.
it's the only thing me and her agree on.
Yeah.
That's it. DNMR. We're back on that 4 level. I love it here.
Yeah, I mean, this is put it on your list next to AMRS. Yeah. Same kind of deal. Lot of potential here into $6 by November is kind of where. Not that I just like throw numbers out there, but given the volume on 5C and then 7.5C, I think it's going to fall in between those two spots into the fall. Love the company, kind of what they're all about. So definitely big future there, I think.
Yeah, the another shout out Flush Play. I don't think you're going to get back below the 380 here. You could see these 2 days before the flush, and then this kind of lining up right down in here. So like high 380s is kind of the bottom right now. We just have range to almost 5. So,
and we don't talk a lot of like long term investing, but I mean this really is one that is kind of like a Roth IRA style. Like I'd be interested in that for this.
Yeah, same with AMRS.
Yeah.
Same with DNA under 3. I mean, those are good gambles. Gevo, I mean, probably not where we are now. Fubo, there's some good There's some good cheap ones right now that you can just sit on. Learn how to DCA in if you're worried about cost, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's companies with a future, not stocks that you're going to see fall to 80 cents or something. So
well, yeah, and they are kind of beat down. Let's just be honest, right? I mean, if you do the fundamentals, they're way undervalued. DNN. I got something I want to talk to you about that. Make sure we talk about Ford before we get off here. DNN. I lost you there, P. Pretty sure we're keeping this. There you go. Now you're back.
Am I back? Lost you for a minute.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool. All right. So what was the next one?
DNN.
Oh yeah, we'll take off uranium for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is that uranium?
Yeah, it's a uranium.
Okay. And donut.
Dina, see here.
It's been holding the 1440, 1450 level pretty well. It's kind of on the underside of it, but it's been months.
Yeah, I'm inclined to keep it. I think that the thesis is intact. Kind of what I would say on it.
Yeah, I like it. I like. I think we need to stress a little more that like when something's holding a level and not really, making the move, that's still a good spot to get in because you're just creating this zone of support. Like, um, even if you had to, I ain't gonna say that. Yeah, I like it. These are the ones
Yeah,
if
I
you
mean,
have to average down on that
if
you're okay with it.
if when you enter when you enter a trade, you need to see it move in the next 5 minutes. DNUT's not the one you want to go for, but definitely holding levels allows you to build a position, and it's not likely to just collapse on you. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yes.
yeah,
I like it, and I like the overall thesis. So, and a company not necessarily that I use, but I see them, so fits all that stuff. Um, Express. For me, I got the ER flush out of this, and this 315 test was kind of telling where it bounced off my line and failed. So I don't like to buy it here in the middle of the zone. Um,
yeah. I don't have anything definitive flow wise on it.
okay, we'll move on
Uh,
then. I have if you're
it's
on to
one to
this, go ahead.
yeah. You get a good meme day.
Yeah.
It's gonna go
I need
basically.
I need the 230 down here. 230 definitely under 250, or I need it to reconfirm the $3 level before I'll get back into it. I play this all the time.
And even as we take them off, learn them all. I would just stress that to everybody. There's a
Yeah,
lot of opportunities in the mall stocks. So yeah,
definitely. Fro,
love it.
keep it.
Yeah, they just keep rolling up. So that's what I do too.
I've only traded it once and it was good. I'm pretty bitter because this is a great chart.
Yeah.
Fubo, I assume we're keeping.
Yes.
Again, you like to. It's not only is this a tradable range, but you like to see this forming so much support at this level. Um, not
Yeah,
really,
for sure.
not really getting under 3 now. So, Givo.
Yeah, this one actually, I was about to hot list it, but then I saw we already had it. So yeah, it's good. Very good.
Don't timestamp or don't search the group for this one and go back to the very very first mention because
Yeah.
I legit posted I'm gonna be the first one to mention Givo because it was so cheap it was down back down in here. um, I like everything about him, especially with the news. $5 level's been huge. You can see it right here. So we're kind of in that pullback range, but even 450 to 5, that's playable for me. Again, that's why I like the stock. Um, my number I would be looking for is more like 425 this week. Looking for pullback there. If it runs through 5, I'll scalp it.
Yeah.
Groupon.
Yeah. So uh, yeah, it's not a 1 day thing. I see something big for these in July, so I want them. I want our attention on them.
The crappy app section.
Yep. Yeah. Any crappy app that you download it, and then like months later, you're like, why did I download this app? Like those are the ones that are going to do well in this summer move. I think they're just way too oversold.
Gee, I got one I want you to look at, but I'll wait until we're done with this. Halliburton.
Yeah, we should keep that. Really held up well to the dividend day. I
Oh,
was impressed with that. So
yeah, I had my note on this was pullback into the 30s, and that just is not going down.
yeah, they're a red day is going to be like 2.5%, and then it'll go up 3 the next day.
Yeah.
So love oil. Been
Uh,
on oil for a long time, but we're not at the top yet. I don't think.
well, thanks for telling me that now. Oh, I used all my full ports.
Yeah.
H. I love Goose. HYMC.
Yeah, I like this one. You just got to kind of know the risk on it, but any kind of news will send this, so stay on it.
That 130 level is one of the best levels I've ever put down. So, because we had that back in here, we've had this 131 level forever.
Yeah.
IMAX.
Yeah. So this
Finally
is kind
got
of
one.
a full summer play for me. So, gonna give some range, but overall, I see it like a 20% jump from here, and then we'll see how we get there.
You just got the move. So if you were in this play, you just got the move to a level that we talked about being important. The pullback pretty much over one candle last week. Monday it popped up to that level and it pretty much pulled back the rest of the week on that level. That's what you want to see. It's building support right here. I guess we were 40 cents off. I apologize.
Yeah.
But that's what you want to see because that's going to happen before the leg up. What you don't want to see is it slam back down to a lower low than it was at 15. But that's
Right.
still
Right.
it's going to provide another opportunity. The more patient people obviously are going to do better at this point in time. But 17 to 20 is still a great range. Grab 100 shares in here. 16 would probably be it for me this week. If I see 16, that'd be a good place to trade off of. Nigeria.
Yeah. We should stay on this.
I agree.
I think. See where we sit now on it.
We're at 740. We're right off of our what is it 6? I think it's 690. 650 is our
Yeah.
line, but
The leaps still go to 10 or 11 on it. So I think that's big picture where you're at. Day trading, you don't need a range that big, but it has a lot of potential for those 12-15% days.
yeah, no, this is great. We played it off this level. You're getting the third higher low here if this holds, which is a great sign for an upward move. Um, yeah, great find. I remember when he first mentioned this, I laughed my ass off, but it's a great stock. Kodak.
Still like Kodak,
Yes.
so stay on it. Kind of know what your strategy is. I think shares or monthly options is probably what I would go with. I know the weeklies are tempting because of that time that.
We lost you on weeklies. I love this at 460. It's great spot. I didn't get the last move, and I said it last week. I'll say it again. It moved $1.20 after the professor's first find, but we got back down here on this level, this 460 level. If you get in on tighter time frame, maybe 450 is being a little more respected currently, but it's been all up lately, so I like it a lot. check. Professor, come back. If not, I'm gonna move on to cold. Um, chart. Let me go in here. Oh, I'm gonna hit him with the message real quick. Cold. Cold, I like a lot. In the low 20s, you do need to pay attention to natural gas. I got the note.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, there
I
you go.
think. Yeah.
I got you. What do you want to say on Kodak? I lost you at weeklies.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So Kodak, I said like don't play weeklies, but I mean they're really cheap too. So I don't play a lot of weeklies. That's what I would say. Um, because the risk reward, is there. But yeah, I still like Kodak. Um, cold. Are we on cold now?
Yeah, cold.
Yeah, I mean we should keep it because
Great.
2-3 times a week it's going to give you a great trade. You
Yeah.
just got to kind of keep an eye on natural gas futures. Remember, it's an inverse ETF, but there's much more potential playing cold than trying to short UNG. Uh, so the overall natural gas is not going to make a dramatic move down, but even with a mild pullback, gold's going to jump a lot. So just kind of keep that in mind. Just study it, watch how it moves.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago I said don't buy it at 2050. We wanted to get it in the teens and play back to the
Yeah,
20s. About midweek last week, your 2050 was your spot, and I think that's where we are again. If you get it right off 20, I think you're in a good spot right now.
yeah,
Just let it confirm. It's a real easy 5 to 10% trade.
yep. It's playable for options or shares. So
It's got me
I don't.
looking at futures now in the morning. I go look at natural gas prices.
Yeah,
I do. It's on the morning routine now because it's an easy trade if that number stays up.
yeah. Very very clean moves. I mean, it's not a lot of correlation, right? It's
Yeah,
it's just purely based on those prices. So
yeah, exactly. LAC.
I stay on lithium, and I'm seeing some strength in the flow on it. So I like it.
Yeah, like we're kind of back in the channel we had before, which was 2373 to 275. It's kind of stayed on that number, but I think we're gonna have a 30 test before the summer's over. Just assume.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you.
Lucid.
Yeah, I would keep Lucid because
Inverse Tesla ETF. I like it down here because we played it off the 17 level before, and it's just confirming that right now. It might trade sideways here for a few weeks until we get a news catalyst or something positive in the sector, but the range has been there. Probably gonna get 20 tests repeatedly. What's my next level here though?
I think we'll get that
26. All right, you just came back. Try it again.
22 to 25.
Okay,
Where I
yeah. So that's even better for where I have it because if he has 22 to 25 and I have 25, yeah, 2584 is my top. That we're getting it here off the 17 level is pretty good. So, catalyst driven though, I like it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Are options good on that? Are they cheap?
Yeah. I mean, they're reasonable. You could play under $100 and
Oh, that's
to
not
get
bad.
into the money. So
Yeah, that's not horrible. I like it. Lemonade. I still like lemonade down here. I think it's one of the easier plays to play off of 20 currently.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely want to stay on lemonade. I think you're a beginner. Definitely, it's one to you want to trade a lot, and we probably will get that dip back under 20.
Let me pull my yearly. Yeah, you think we go like 18 again?
Yeah. I think we get that.
Okay. I'm still looking for like 20, the move to the 25 on some news. Macy's.
Yeah, I would. I've got Macy's kind of in the Hall of Fame, so I'm inclined to keep it.
Okay. So that's basically a highlighted Hall of Fame. It's currently highlighted. I like it. Don't ever
Yeah,
give up. Don't ever give up, P. Don't ever give up. Momo.
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 Uh, yeah, this is one of the Chinese ADRs that fits my theme of the crappy app.
You lost your crappy app. For me, it's I think this is one of the first trades I've traded something that Professor has, and I did better than him. Um, because I got most of this move in here, and I like it off the five. I think 650 is the top, and we kind of didn't get that here, but this should pull back hopefully closer to the five, into the fives. A good high or low for me would be like the 25 to 530 range. Pretty sure we're gonna keep this one. ADRs in general, um, especially ones that fit the another sector, and this one is I believe it's like a financial service kind of thing, but it's a shitty app. P, we completely lost you.
Is that, and I think they're wrong on that. So, and they've been wrong on that. They're just gonna keep showing some strength, I think.
All right, say that again because we didn't get any of that.
All right, let's try to get to a better spot here. So, the Twitter sentiment on Chinese stocks is that they're all bad, stay away, and they're just wrong on that, and they're going to continue to be wrong. There's opportunities there.
Okay, I like this ADR. It has great range. Um,
Yeah.
don't fall in love with any one ADR. It's kind of my
Right. No. Yeah. You hit them for day trades.
yeah. MViz. Oh wait, I got to bring up the yeah. So I talked about this one last week having this pullback pattern. Um, didn't really happen as much this week, but it definitely confirmed the level. Um, this is one of the lidar plays that hasn't really moved with the market. Um, the professor found a lot of lidar in the flow a while ago, but this one just kind of does its own thing, and it's worked well through our zone. I would like to see flow um, further on to this back to the $7 level. Um, if not, I would play the channel that we're in currently, which is this 325 to 371. Let me hit him with a message real quick. Let's look on the flex grid real quick. Yeah, so real big 325. Um, don't really have catalyst besides the flow on the LiDAR plays. These guys, if you look at them from last year, I might have to go 3 years. They had a big pump. There it is. Maybe it was 2 years ago. This big pump right here on the Apple Car um, rumor. There we go. So I don't think we'll ever get back to this level. But if you break this down on like even the year, um, this 325 is pretty damn solid. And yeah. So we're going to keep that one on here. He doesn't have a choice. And then we'll go on. We'll move to Nat. Nat's definitely been a repeatable player. I love this new script that I did because it kind of shows you monthly volume profile. But you see we're back here. We're kind of confirming the lower twos. That the $2 psych would be my downside on this. I'm sure the flow reads will have something better because this thing is highly active in options for a small cap. But Nat is also going to stay on the hot list. I like the two personally. I like the two like 205 because that's really all you're going to get. You're not going to get all the way down to two. Back to 225, 230. Just trying to catch the confirmation back into our zone. Bam. Neem is the gold play. I think this is also like a mining stock. Hasn't really, for me, on the share side, confirmed. We're in a big gap. I did like it when it was on this level, but that eventually failed. So now we're back into a bigger gap here. Kind of setting up a higher low, but personally I don't trust it. Volume profile being 63. I would much rather just let this thing check all the way back to 60. Pretty big level of support, even if you go into a larger time frame. Yeah, 60's pretty huge. 63, 60 right in there. OPAD. Let me switch my sorry. OPAD's definitely still in the zone. Real estate. So this is one of the sectors that the flow suggests that it's going to have an upward move or that it's overextended to the downside currently. As you can see, this thing has held up real well on these levels over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 months. Kind of made moves off of the 4. So I'd say 4 to 550 is our current range. News dependent, news driven type play is what I would say it is. But I know OPAD and real estate overall are going to stay on the hot list. Just depends on. I think Zillow would be the one if we're going to take one off. Maybe move something like Redfin on. Penn be the same as DraftKings. This chart I like a little better than DraftKings. DraftKings being the app, this being the business, like when they open casinos and stuff like that. Actual on-site stuff. This Penn Gaming will be it. Like I said, DraftKings is more of the app side of it. Let me go to a larger time frame here. Let me get a 3-year for you. So I really, really, really could see this 32 level even back here, pre-pandemic dip. That's kind of where it's at. So you're getting it at 2019 prices, with plenty of potential. It's the same guys that run the Barstool and all that stuff. So I like this a lot just off of this level. I'm not going to say a long-term play, but any kind of national news and gambling or anything like that, this thing has huge potential. So the risk-reward ratio here is pretty limited in my opinion. So DraftKings and Penn would be the two. There is other gaming stocks, but these are I guess the two that have the better range on the chart. Um, play play as ER this week. Ooh, let me zoom in here. Um, Also a Hall of Fame play. This one's definitely not going off the hot list. I'm totally. I personally, I already have my note on it, so I'm looking for the 33 level to be the test. I don't think it goes back to 30 um, heading into ER, but I believe it's Tuesday afternoon. Let me see, 7th, 6th. Yeah, Tuesday afternoon. So I'm looking for it to continue this like what it did on Friday here, and hopefully we check back Monday, maybe Tuesday open on this 33 level. And then for me, why? Because when the ER comes out, no matter what, I can read the report and I'm fine with buying off that price. Um, it should be good. So that's just the level that I like. I like when I can confirm it. If it drops under 30 and gets into the 20s, I really don't. I mean, I would have to pull another level, but I don't know. Do I buy at 27, 28, or not? So I'm pretty confident in buying at 33 if it confirms. Um, like the I won't buy it before the report comes out, but that's just the level I'm comfortable buying it. Again, just read the estimates. Make sure they're close is kind of what I look for, or a small beat, and then immediately look for guidance, and just try to. It doesn't have to be great. It just can't be horrible. They can't be saying like they're closing 30 or 40 stores, or they're cutting staff, because that will keep it down, or push it down another level. But I haven't seen too many that have had, at least from the plays that we play, that have had horrible guidance, because this guidance is was from last year, like November, December is when they put the guidance out for the first two quarters. So they really weren't looking to have, you know, super good expectations. So meeting those isn't really hard. It's about the forward guidance. So it's more right now, in my opinion, about the outlook for the rest of the year. That's going to get these guys to either regain what they've already lost, or to regain what they lost when the report came out. Play overall, like them a lot, Dave and Buster's. Pretty sure you guys are familiar with it, and this channel has been successful for quite some time. So, Piton, I'm pretty sure we're just waiting on this. This has strong flow reads to the mid teens. Another one that's kind of trading sideways currently. I haven't traded it on the share side. I'm waiting for the TV news, which um, they still haven't really done anything more than mention. They did put the price out and stuff like that, but I think they're still working on more of the software part of it and how they're gonna implement that. So long term, still something we want to keep an eye on. So we're assuming we're gonna keep this on the hot list. Next is Rad. Rad did make a move last week. Nothing substantial, but if you look at the chart, but if you come in here to the 5 or 10 minute on the day trade, it's definitely, you go 550 to $6 over the 2 days. This is a very, very good trade. Um, I think there's still a lot more room here. Kind of confirming if you look on the day chart, which is what you want to see. This level here, which is 568, is what we have, is confirmed. You can see we got the second bar starting here, just a little bit higher. So I think you're good low fives right now, playing it back to 6 on day trades. Option side, I think these are pretty cheap. Yeah, these are pretty cheap. So another one I'd pay attention to when you learn the flow of the chart. just has pretty good upside here. I still think we get back to the $9 or $10 test at some point in time. Just doesn't seem like this should be down here. Let's look at a 3-year real quick. So we grab volume profile on 3 year. Yeah, even 3 years 13, 1 year's 14, 6 months is 9. So even on the short term, we're still way undervalued. And 6 to 9 is 30%. Again, not that move is going to happen without a catalyst in one day, but the range on the day candles makes this very tradable. Roblox, build the same way. I think this is good from the option side as well, and confirmation off of the $28 level. Sorry, Tune. Put this down here. $28 level seems to be forming. So like to see it, and this one might trade sideways for a couple more months, couple more weeks. But eventually getting back to the 40 seems reasonable. What do I have after that? Yeah, 48 after that. So playing this back into the 40 seems reasonable. So if you can get it in, 28, 27.5, and be around when news comes in, I think this is a great buy. More of a growth stock that kind of got beaten down. How far out do I got to go to get? Oh, I got to zoom out. Sorry. Yeah. This is one we always talk about. Like, we're not getting the 120s again. Even this 70 might be a stretch. But playing it back here to the 48 seems reasonable. Both short and midterm. REI, crappy energy. I actually have a list of these on here. I'll bring it up real quick for you guys. Bam. So crappy energy. REI, I like this way more off the $4 level. We do kind of have a higher low forming with the top being $5. I think if we're familiar with these charts, they really don't need to be on the hot list because these will come and go. These kind of need to breathe back to the level of support, and then they're playable for a day or two. A little more off than on in that case, and all of them go into it. CIE's that way, IMPP's that way, SNMP's that way. HUSA might be the more of the consistent mover of the group, and then REI and Ring, I believe, is the other one. Or excuse me, 9. Sorry about that. 9 is the other one. Rivian. Rivian's going to be a lot like Lucid. Same thing. I call it the inverse Tesla ETF, especially with all the news that Tesla is recently getting about Elon. Sorry, I dropped my heads. About Elon saying the economy's going to go to crap. The Twitter deal and all that stuff. When the guy goes down, when the blue chip or the number one stock in the sector, EV sector obviously would be Tesla. When they go down, the 2, 3s, and 4s usually pick up a little bit. So Rivian, Lucid, NIO to some extent. I'll even throw Workhorse in there a little bit. Those guys are all kind of picking up a little bit, especially on the levels where they're at. Rivian, I'm going to use Flex right here. Rivian, get a little bit more on that one. Rivian kind of off this $26, $27 level has been the successful spot to trade it currently. 30 psych has been in the way. I have 33 and we're not even getting close to that. Kind of looking for that level to turn back over. The 33, 35 level, I think that has to confirm more for an upward move. You can kind of see it on the weekly. This is not a good sign to me on the weekly. When you kind of have 1 week where it just flips it can't get through, and then it really doesn't test. It just feels like this level is going to fail eventually, and our new range will, which that's fine. It's not a bad thing unless you're holding on for hope. But it kind of looks to me like this 30 to 20 level is going to be the range that we stay in, and not the 33 to 40, 45 level that's above that. So we're going to definitely keep this on.
just because of the atmosphere of EV chargers currently. The Again, the inverse of the Tesla, these guys being at the bottom. And they kind of all have a cult following, to be honest. So, Root's going to fit a lot like Lemonade. I like Root because of position size. It's pretty easy to trade. We'll go in here on the smaller time frame. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yeah. But, Jesus, what is that version again? Sorry. I want 90. Yeah. So this is pretty tradable here. Currently, it's been off like the 140 range, but you get 10-15 cent moves on this thing almost daily. If you look here, it's usually out the gate and fizzles during the day, but the upward trend is still there. I like this 162 level, so playing it back to there seems good. I would probably start taking more of a bigger position once this level confirms, this 160 level, because I can play that back to 2, and that's just a better percent than the 10 cents we're getting right now. The flow on these is there for a long-term move, so we are keeping them on the hot list, basically because of the limited downside. Run. I don't know much about this one, to be honest with you. So let's pull it up from for a year here real quick. Oh yeah, we're in this nice little channel here all year. We have 1991 and 33 on the chart. Those are our two spots on the chart. We did just get through ER. I don't think you're going to get 19 again, but this definitely looks like we're moving up. Let's go into Flex Grid, see what we got over here. Yeah, we're green on 3 of the 4, and this has high RSI on a red. So yeah, I like this a lot. If you've been playing this, I would continue to play it. I'm surprised I don't know what the hell it is. Sorry. Sunrun Inc. Oh, I think this might be solar. Yeah, solar installation. Yeah, definitely stay on that. SDEC, kind of forming a base down here off of the 140 level I have, I guess. I like this back to 2. It's a good sign, but it's a wait and see. The last ER wasn't great, just on the guidance, so it has kind of stayed down. But really, the 260s, if we go here, let's go on. The 260s, the main pivot on the bigger time frame. Nope, that's 5. Jesus. Yeah, 5 on the bigger time frame. Where are we getting 260 from? But I like this. I'm inclined to take this off of the hot list without a flow read, just because I think there's better plays out there. Time is money in this game, so spending your time on this chart just doesn't seem like it's going to give you the big enough move off of these levels currently, without some catalyst or some turnaround. Stitch Fix, I think we're just a little early, especially coming into ER here. Another one of Professor Stein's. Definitely going to keep it on the hot list. I like this one more than I looked at it at this level. Nice soft landing here. Kind of getting undersold. I would or oversold, excuse me. 6-9. I would play this. Is that Thursday after hours? I would look for this to flush on ER. See if we get the lows again. I don't think we'll get 7s, but if you can get mid 7s, I would be interested in playing this back again. Let the ER report come out. Read the report. Hopefully they came real close on the guidance, on the top and bottom line, and then check the guidance to make sure they're not firing people or closing stores or have a really poor outlook, because that's the only thing people are really putting value into in those ER reports, especially with charts that are overextended, because if they're overextended, and they have a good outlook, then there's value there. If they're overextended and they have a bad outlook, then the market's right. So that's currently how I've seen those plays. And we are running out of the bigger names, so you got to do a little more work to know what you're getting into, know how they're doing, and kind of know their margins. People that have high margins, kind of why we're on wall stocks. The ones that have large margins are the more resilient. They have the most wiggle room in meeting and exceeding or beating numbers. So Scorpion Tankers, STNG. Pretty sure we're staying on all oil. This would be oil. Unfortunately, I don't play this stock. I say that because it's nothing but uphill since the professor's been on it. But I'm assuming he's going to continue to stay on these. Work well from the option side. Price targets keep going up. Not that we put too much into them. But this is like any energy or oil, you buy the pullback. Like what I'm seeing here. This was an older professor play. I believe this is also. No, don't say it. I thought it was oil, but it's not. It's going to be uranium. I like the level of the chart. Kind of has range currently in the 450 to 5 area. With the flow read back to 7, I believe, and that's what we have on the chart. Where am I at here? 6 months. So you can see we definitely had a dip here, but we're reestablishing an area that is playable, just basically between these two volume profile lines. For that reason, I'm definitely going to keep TEL on here. Tupperware, I think we're just a little early. I found this is a ER overreaction, and it came up in one of my basically a bottom scanners. So I like this here under the 6. If you can get this in the 5s, I like this. With 7 kind of being what I'm looking for to either hold for an upward move, or that's where we'll get out of the trade. So the 6 to 7, or excuse me, the high 5s to 7 would be the range I'm playing, and then hoping that I get a good fat candle back up through here. These guys are getting low enough for acquisition, so even that kind of news, someone saying they're going to buy them, would be really good. I don't know who would buy them or who would have interest in the Tupperware brand, but I do know it's a name with a lot of longevity. So sure, everyone's had Tupperware in their house. If you look at this thing historically, yeah, it's definitely getting down to the very, very bottom. I don't think we'll see 60s, 70s, or 80s again. But man, if you could even get a run back to, let's say this is 30, so if we can get a run back to 24 here, that would be good. This reminds me a lot of Crocs. And if you look at the Crocs chart, it'll blow your mind, because the thing was $8. I know it was coming out of COVID and everything, but they just simply figured out how to make those little jewel things out of waste. So they made a product that didn't cost them anything. Those little like Croc earring things, I don't know. And that stock went from here, I'll bring it up. That stock went from flipping $8 to 180, sorry. So yeah, we had 960 down here, 840 down here, and we got 180. So it's just about people giving up and them doing something little sometimes to have a substantial move. And I like Tupperware a little better than Crocs as a product in general. So I just like the level of the gamble, not the gamble, but the risk reward ratio down here. I'll bring it back up on here in a day, and I like that we're forming support. Completely oversold, in my opinion. So keep that one on your radar, and move on to the next one here. Upstart, definitely not going anywhere. this thing has great range. I know a few people in the room that kind of send me their trades daily, and this is the winner currently. This thing has great range. You're getting, that was like a $10 move, but you're getting you're getting $6-7 moves regularly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last week, 5 days. It's a good day to trade it. Good day to trade it. You got murdered Wednesday. Good day to trade it. You could have traded it here if you waited. But if you look at these candles, they're $3 to $4. That's it with 100 shares. That's some people's goal. Just have to figure out how to pick out levels, figure out what's strong on the chart. This one definitely takes your time. You have to analyze it every day, come up with a plan. If your plan comes to you, you execute. If it doesn't, you just move on. But this is a great stock to trade, play upside. I keep mentioning the gap to 54 to 70. You can see it right here. That's the carrot on top. If we do get back into this and you're on this chart, you should have a good week on one trade. Workhorse. Flow still says 8. No, that's a different stock. That's Nikko. Sorry, don't listen to that. I'm not sure what the flow says on this. I'd have to look back at my notes to be quite honest with you. I like it off the $3 level. We have kind of had the underside this last week. But this is good time to talk about this right here. So when I usually say got under a level and it looks like crap, well, this one doesn't look like crap because it got under the level, but it's still like in the level. So it's still trying to hold on, even though it's dipping. Then you do want to see these candles tighten up and confirming that level, and eventually you will take off. But the sell days have been real bad on this, kind of a buy red candidate in the EV sector. They need news. We go a little bigger here. If you go a little bigger here, we're like back to square one. So it's kind of low risk, low reward in that regard. There is some upside to this thing if they get any kind of news. They're the ones that have the UBS link, so I definitely keep them on your EV list. X. I love where X is at, especially off the 20, what do I got? I think I got 23. 22.9. We're not getting that. You're going to have to use this 24.73, which is this volume, 20-day volume profile. The lowest we're getting is, 23.7. So you kind of got to pick a spot there. I really think we're going to get back to 30. I don't see how steel is not in demand. And this level has been really good. Even if we're only talking, 27, 28. If you get 23 to 28, that's a pretty darn good trade. So X will definitely stay in the rotation. Yelp. Yelp's another one of those crappy apps that are setting up for the summer. More of a flow read. For me, I like when the professor says, hey, this is gonna do good in the future, and it hasn't really confirmed a level, and then it starts confirming a level. That to me is what I look for when he gives me flow numbers. Not only do we kind of stop the trend we were on and redirect, but we build a pretty solid level of support. So 28 or 29 right in there is kind of what I have right now. We've done that for the last few weeks. I'd like to see that continue. You can trade around that. Again, these stocks that are $15 to $45 are kind of in my wheelhouse for 100 shares, especially if they'll move a buck or two. This is one of them. Just finding a right place to trade it. It is more what it's about. And I like this one kind of at 27 right now, playing it back to 29. Good thing about that is if we go on a tighter time frame, it's really easy to see the trend. It's real. Jeez, I do not know why I keep saying zoom in. But yeah, you can see when the trend starts, it kind of continues. This is really clean, like really, really clean. The day and night that held our 29 level, The next day we got a little dippy, but other than that, you kind of can see the moves right out the gate. Follow trend. Good stock to trade off of EMA, even if you're an EMA trader, which is what the weekly crosses are. Zillow, I want to dump Zillow. It might be a personal thing, but here we got to go to a day chart. But this, I just don't feel like this level's going to hold. I really don't. I feel like we're going to check back down here into the low 30s. And if you go historically, there's not much. I mean, we're not going to get out. Yeah, if you go historically, we're going to get down to the 25s, 23s, and that's a pretty good haircut from 40. I had hope for this because it's kind of the bigger name EV play, but when this channel failed, that I don't really get to a high or low here, I just don't really like. So I want to eliminate that one. Now we get to the conundrum because the professor needs to be here. To go over some of mine, but I'm just going to review what I got real quick in general. So I definitely want to talk about the Amazon split. I didn't get my 200. It only went down to 225 and I'm greedy. But I think the lowest we got was 225, right? So I'm doing all our $2,025. So I'm doing all my math off of that. So it's basically $100 is what I'd be looking for. This should open at around 124, I think is what it is right now, if you go off of that. So I'm looking for closer to the 100 level if I could get some. But I think I might have missed the bus on this. I don't think this one's going to dip, to be all honest with you, unless the overall market does. But I really don't think this is going to dip. It'll be very active in the new options. So remember that risk reward stuff, because hey, it might be good to sit this one out this week in my opinion. BBIG, we're getting back to a good level. The news on these guys was more of delayed in the, it's not a split. It's like a dividend kind of, because they're going to give you one stock for every 10 I think you own of this new Cryptide spin-off. So I'm liking where we are down here on the 2 level, especially if we get underneath that. They're still going to do the spin-off. It's just they're having problems with the paperwork, it sounds like. So we're getting back to these all-time lows. I have 229, so when that broke, a little cautious, but we have $2 cycle right underneath there. So I'm on that. This should be on the hot list this week. Also, like Black Rock Coffee Club Company, whatever you want to call it, I feel like I might be a little late here. I should have called it last week, but I wanted to see more confirmation off of 10, and we're right on 10 here. So now we have this $8 to $10. Support building up here. This is a low float new guy, so I like this a lot. 1140 is only up here because that's what the warrants were exercised at. So this will probably be back on the hot list this week, just because we have confirmation off the 10 now. Rock Coffee Club. I had to ask Professor about this one because I like where coin's at right now. Again, huge confirmation forming right here on the let's go into the 90. Yeah, this just eating up 68, 70. To me, it looks like it's trying to flip 70 into support right now. We had one big move up to 80, so this 65 to 80 range kind of looks like where we're at. With trying to confirm 70, I really like the position I'm going right now. Campbell's, which was an ER play. This week we have ER with Campbell's. Pull up the, I'll leave that there for flex grid. Yeah, what day is this? 6/8. So Wednesday morning. The only reason I have these guys on the mention is because of the ER, and they kind of are already headed to the dip. Campbell's soup shouldn't be doing bad. Those prices of those soups are up, flipping 60% in the store right now. So I don't see them hurting, and all their products are there. Unlike when the COVID thing happened, there were certain products you couldn't find from them. I know because I used a few of them. They are all back right now, so I don't understand what this dip is for going into the ER. They should have decent numbers. So keep that one on your radar. This will kind of be like my ER flush play for the week. I can play these guys with a little bit of size, so I like them a lot. Is that sorry. SL. Jesus. Also, I believe ER this week. Yeah, on the 9th, Thursday before the market opens. They still have the Walmart partnership, and we're getting way off of where they were. So I like these guys a lot. This week I'm gonna go over here. I understand so zoomed into that. Oh, we're getting fit script. I don't know. So yeah, I like them back to this, the just even in the 5s from here. Definitely confirmed off the 3. Pullback days are great on this. So 4 to 5 current range plus the ER coming this week. Hopefully they'll have some of more of the news with the money part of the Walmart deal. Yeah, the only chart down here I don't like is the weekly. It still hasn't quite turned, so be mindful of that. But we had 380 to 440 range, plenty of range for me to play. Mullen, I think this is running. Sorry for bringing it up. You can see here on the hour chart. I really think this is going to run tomorrow. This kind of have a nice ledge for me. I would have liked to see it finish a little higher on Friday, but Mullen's not dead yet. If it was dead, it's coming back to life. What I'm noticing is the dollar level and the 125, 130 level, which is 100% from first entry of 65 cents. That's kind of where this whole thing started from. Those are kind of like where we're at right now, which is good to see, especially the longer it confirms in that area. You can play this from the the low ones back to the 140, 150 currently. But I think the move will come when they have another news cycle or anything like that. It's not as much as a short play anymore, but they still do have decent amount of money and the facility and whatnot. So there's still plenty going on in that realm. What's up, P? Not yet. All right, so let's keep going. I like Neo a little bit too. I wanted to see what he's at on Neo, but I have let me get a larger time frame for you here. 1838 is what I've had on the chart. We're kind of, that's technically a lower low, but we kind of have a higher low forming up this side. So I want to see this confirm 18. I do like to be a little early, so for me, if I have a flow read here back into the 20s, I'm fine with kind of starting a position here, but if not, I want to see 18 confirmed. 18 to 20 is still not a bad trade for the way I trade. I like this a lot more. If you believed in this and got this dip, you're doing really well right now. Some of these, especially the ones that line up cross-platform, this is an EV got hit because of materials were hard to get. This is China, so they got shut down because of China. Manufacturing, people were locked down because of COVID, and then it's also an ADR. So it kind of like, it got a lot of pain, so to speak. So I still think we're at a great level long term, but personally, I like to see this confirmed, because if not, I think we'll get an entry down here back by 15. Again, that's why flow is important to me. Ooh. This one I wanted to put on everyone's radar. It's kind of moving against the grain when it comes to crypto. You can see right here, this is about the last month. Kind of moved against the grain. It is an American company out of New York, but they are more on the mining than the service side. So I do like them with how they've moved. I wanted to see if we could get anything on the other side of the table when it comes to some pull that real quick. Because yeah, we're just getting good confirmation here, right around the $3 level. So I don't really have a lot to go off of here. 465, 576, 680 are like kind of what's on the volume profile. So it's really jumbled when it comes to the way I normally read charts. Yeah, you can see that's very hard to pick one. You would be guessing, in my opinion, if you picked one of these levels. But I like the confirmation down here, so I want to put that on everyone's radar. For me, the Riots, the Maras, Ebon, Hut, all those guys that have history, it's going to be real hard to make solid runs back through those zones because you have bag holders. This one and BTC and BTCS, a little less of that history, a little less known, so they have a little more range. The chart is a little more natural in my opinion. So definitely keep your eye on that one. Talk about crappy EV play. This is about as crappy as they get. We kind of make fun of this car in the chat all the time, but we're on this lower 150 level. Kind of has range back to 2. Even 175 is a good trade off of this level. I like it a lot simply to the fact of the chart location and nothing else. But yeah, you can see we kind of get these decent moves. The same kind of goes with the next one, which is Wish. Let me get a larger time frame for you here, sorry. Yeah, see, kind of bottomed out here last year off of Zach Morris pumping the crap to 69. Under 2 to me is a good spot. It's kind of been an uptrend. Breaking back through 2 hasn't happened yet, so I would be mindful of that. That's kind of going to be the pivot. Short time frame 225 is kind of where the most is at. So I do see it happening, but it might take an attempt or two. Playing it off the 170 level to that 2 test seems like a good spot to trade Wish. Not the 690, not the 69. PLTR. I like this one in general. Let's go to a larger time frame. They're a company that has a great client base, super profitable, but they put that money into R&D and whatnot. But we're getting down. We're getting down to some cheap prices here. Hold on, let me go to 20. Is that everything? Yeah, that's everything. So that's everything right there. So I mean, we're back. $10 was where it started at. If we go, sorry, I'm all over the place here. If we go back to this chart, I had 764. You can see it kind of confirmed a little bit underneath that. Even a dip to 6. But now we're middle of the zone, but we're definitely holding this $9 level really well. I just see this kind of picking up that social and at least testing 10, if not confirming 10. So this seems like a good area if you can get it 8 anything, or you can pull back into the high sevens. There should be flow read on this, so I'm interested in what Professor has on the flow side, whether we hot list or not. But for me, it has enough down here now. Back in here 2 or 3 weeks ago, I just didn't have enough. I got enough down here to go off of. Under 10 seems like oversold. KHC. This is Kraft Heinz. Yeah, I was wondering, it's a big name. The dividend sell-off. Yeah, so this just happened. This dividend just happened, and to me, let me pull up the bigger time frame. Yeah, it looks like they just sold off going into this dividend for some reason. 34 is a line we have from the previous, so I do like this. I do like this in here because it kind of came off high and tight. I'd like to see it fully check back and confirm, like you kind of see it did right here, maybe a little under like it did here. But this one, I like these more staples to get on because they're a little safer. Obviously, Kraft Heinz isn't going to go anywhere, and it looks like we're in a pretty good position historically. That's another thing I want to talk to the professor about. Like the multipliers on some of these stocks, you can change the market and the multiplier and all that. But Ford was my example. But Ford has stock history from 1979. So like you have 50 years of earnings or whatever the hell it is, 40 years of earnings. Like you can, they've made it through a couple of really dramatic economic situations. So like you can predict Ford's forward earnings pretty clear, and it's 17 times forward earnings, 15 times back end. And that's just what it is because they have history. So these ones that are bigger names that are beat down that have history, I'm very, very, I'm watching them a little bit more. Normally I wouldn't be on a stock like Ford or Kraft Heinz, but where they are and the way the market is valuing them and the history of the way they have been valued, they just seem like they are the safer place. So that's another reason why I have this one on, but the dividend sell-off kind of mindful to me that we hit a level that I like. So Kraft Heinz. Let's see. I'm gonna say all my socials for read the room. Also wanted to talk about, and I don't trade this stock, but I want to talk about it. But DWAC, especially with the Twitter stuff going on, if that deal falls through, I think this will be the sympathy winner of that. 50's kind of been the volume profile. We're almost back to mid candle. 32 is kind of my number, but if you look where we've been here, this thing is just holding water really well. $2, $3 range almost every day, but straight across that. So just mindful where this is at. Again, I would not be on this chart except for from about here over. Makes me kind of interested in where we are with DWAC. I'll put it in my notes. Again, I don't really play it, but this thing can run 50% in 2 or 3 days. So previous runner, we kind of know what the catalyst is, and yeah, so good there. Kind of, since it's just me today, I'll throw this in here. GGPI, you guys know, we've talked about it a bajillion times, but we're down at 10, which is pretty much the bottom. I don't think we get into the 9s. If you're holding something, plays like this is where it's at. We know what the catalyst is going to be. It's just the acquisition of Polestar. I personally think they're putting it off because of market conditions right now. Why sell your company at a discount? But from a share side, this is a good time to put a little bit in there. Not really tradable on the day, more of a long-term wait and see type of thing. And then the last one I want to talk about, why we always have a plan and why you kind of got to update and review your plan constantly. But Square bought back in here. Did not buy here. I bought on these candles. This was just my ad zone. Good spot, I thought. Almost went 100%. We were up like 60, 70%. I did not get all the way out of this thing until I believe 120 was my last sell. But still, I did decent off of ads from the 90 to 120. I did not high point it, but I'm not day trading this. I'm trying to get a long-term position in here. Scared to death when we were down here. This week had me a little more interested. I did not buy back into it. 80 started coming up in the flow, and then we confirmed back on 85. So this I do now have a position back in here, low 80s. So I'm not super up, but I'm also not all the way in. My box is what I think it's 185, so it's a pretty big box. You can day trade that box, yes. But for me, I want to be holding this long term. This company I believe in. But this 80 level holding off of a flow read is really good. So I want to mention you guys this week, because you can even play the 80 to 85. But I do see us making a test back to 100. So I'll dump everything I have if 100 isn't strong. To me, if you look at 100, if you look at it on a larger time frame, 100 would be almost a perfect high or low. I mean, excuse me, a lower high, and I don't want that. I needed to get back to this 107, 108 area, so we can retest 140. But I like them a little better than the PayPal, which they're in a great spot too. If you're have more conviction, the chart's damn near the same. You can trade it dang near the same way. Just preference at that point, and then SoFi. SoFi to me is just it's going to stay down here for a while. I think SoFi under 10 is a good long term, but I also don't think we're getting out of here anytime soon. So the risk reward probably a little bit more here. And again, personal preference on the fintech, but they're all kind of in the same location. So Square, expect to hear Square. Day trades again for me are 80s, sub 80s back to 85. That's currently where we are on that. I don't really know much about the options on these, whether they're tradable or not. Let's take a peek. Yeah, $4. Yeah, that's enough for me. Let me check weeklies real quick. Yeah, probably not playable for me. But yep. Alright, that's about all I have. Apologize to everybody. We do know the professor is traveling. So I will touch base with him, try to lock down the hot list. Expect a little more detailed notes. I'm still do read the room. I don't know if you guys are using that much, but if the hot list is too much for you, dive into the professor's sector notes and pick a couple, or dive into read the room and pick a couple, because those are a lot more focused and condensed. On my side, they're exactly how I'm playing stuff. So you can basically follow me if you set an alert. It's not too hard. Or just be mindful of the ones you're going to play, and when I mention them in chat, go look at the chart and you should see the setup I'm looking at. But yeah, appreciate everybody. I'll drop this video shortly, and expect Read the Room hot list and notes to follow.